Of course, over the past several lessons, we've been talking about class rules. But if I look at my page here inside my browser, as a matter of fact, what we have is a mixture of class rules and also that inline formatting that we created way back when. So what I want to show you how to do in this exercise is how to take inline formatting and essentially convert it to a class rule. It's pretty cool, and it's pretty easy to do as well. So I'm going to start off with this red text here, which is, of course, containing that strike through as well. I'm going to take that formatting and convert it to a class rule to get us started here. So I'm just going to flip back over to Coda here into my code. And if I scroll down just a little bit, I can see precisely where that formatting is. Don't forget, that's inside a span element. So I can see there span, style equals, and then there we go, text dash decoration, line through, color red. And then the content, the haps in graphics. I'm going to take the CSS properties, the content that appears inside the quotes, inside the style attribute. I'm going to grab all these CSS properties, and you can either copy them or cut them. It doesn't really matter. Either Control or Command C or Control or Command X. I've gone and copied them myself. And then what I'll do is I'll scroll up inside my document. I'm going to look for my internal style sheet, this guy right here. And then what I'll do is I'll click at the end of the last CSS rule, the last class rule outside of his curly bracket, and I'll just hit enter a couple of times. And then what I'll have to do is I'll have to throw in a new name for my class rule. Now, don't forget, you can call your class rules whatever you like, no spaces or special characters, and of course, preceding my class rule with a period. So I'm just simply going to call this guy deleted. How's that? And then I'll throw in a space, and I'll throw in an opening curly bracket. And once again, Coda is kind enough to throw in the closing curly bracket for me as well. And I'll throw in a couple of quick spaces and then simply paste Control or Command V. And there's, of course, the properties that I had copied just a moment ago. Okay, so I've duplicated the formatting. Now all I want to do is go and apply the deleted class rule to the content down inside my document. So I'm going to scroll back down and I'm going to look for that content where I copied the CSS properties from. And I'm going to change style to class. So class equals. And then rather than all of the CSS properties here, you guessed it, I'm just going to simply type in deleted, just like that. So the name of my class rule, again, without the period. Go ahead and save your work, flip back over to your browser and refresh. If you've done this correctly, you should see no change on your page, which is good. So in other words, we just took this inline formatting and converted them to a class rule. Pretty easy stuff. Let me do one more here with you. I'm going to create a highlight class rule using this content right here. So once again, I'll flip back over to my code and I'll look for that formatting. Again, mine happens to be inside a span. If you want on your side, you could grab this formatting here, which is applied directly to the paragraph. That would be fine as well. And once again, I'm going to grab all of the content that appears inside the quotes, right? So once again, myself, it says style equals, and then in quotes, the CSS properties. Grab all that stuff. Again, either copy it or cut it. Maybe this time I'll cut it. Control or Command X. Back up into my internal style sheet, and same story as before. Give yourself a little bit of space, and then throw in a name for your new class rule. I'm going to call this highlight. And then I'll throw in my curly brackets there, and then once again, simply paste, just like that. And then all I'm going to do is simply go and apply the highlight class, which I just created, to the content down inside my document. So once again, I'm going to change style equals to class equals, and then in quotes, my class rule, highlight. Save it up, back over to the browser and refresh. And again, if you don't see any changes, it means you've done it correctly, which is great. All right, wonderful stuff. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to do. I'm going to leave it up to you to do this one more time for the inline formatting on the first paragraph, and maybe just do a quick scroll through your code. Make sure you don't have any more inline formatting. If you do, I'll leave it up to you to go and create a class rule for that inline formatting.